Hello, this is Fallon, and I have a request to look into Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's engagement. Some people were asking if I could get some insights on their engagement and see what I can pick up. So let's begin. Okay. So, so Taylor, she likes that there's a lot of spontaneity with Kelce. I'm sorry, with Travis. And yeah, okay. So she definitely finds him a lot of fun, nothing dull. There's a part of her that wonders about a regret from the past. Like she still has, that's a little concerning. Like she thinks about the past a little bit still. So he has good conversations with Taylor. They're able to talk about a lot of things. Which is important to him. He's a huge communicator, and she's a huge communicator, so their communication is pretty good. He's afraid that she's not. Well, I don't want to say afraid. Neither one's really afraid. They eventually will find themselves concerned if this doesn't rectify itself before before they get married, so to speak, walk down the aisle. That she's not ready, and that she's a bit still immature as far as wife material goes. But he would not have asked her to marry him if he really wasn't into it. You know what I mean? She has deep respect for this man that she has not had in the past for anybody else. And it's the kind of respect that, you know, when you settle down with somebody, you say they're a good father, they're a good this, they're a good that, they're just good at everything. They're a jack of all trades, they're a magic man, there's something magic about them. You know, superhero, you know, the jock you couldn't get in high school, well, now you got him. So it's kind of like a conquering thing with her, but, you know, I'm not trying to speak negatively about it. Just, it is, you know. He likes her cheery nature. And, you know, the fact that she's wealthy and independent isn't a bad thing either. And of course, people have expressed that what if he's just in it for her money or whatever, you know. She loves the spontaneity that Travis brings. He is he brings a lot of change in a good way to her life, excitement. The only thing concerning to me is she really in love with him, or is she just in awe of him? You know, like, he can do better. Like, I'm not good enough for him. Why is she thinking of the past? You know, the kind of, that doesn't really register, you know. But there's something about him that she doesn't want to lose him either. So, you know, with this engagement thing, it was like now or never, you know? I mean, is the timing a little off for her? Yeah, because she's not quite there. But, and, you know, and he feels it. You know, he feels, you know, he feels her reluctance, but I think he also felt like now or never too, you know, like, okay. So they've both talked about regrets in their past. Their shortcomings in their past. The shortcomings of the people from their past. They've had deep discussions. You know, people not panning out, not being who they said they were. His fear is the immaturity levels. That's not something he... And when I say immature, I mean like drama. She has not created drama for him between them two. She's very logical. She's seeing this in a very logical fashion. Actually, they both kind of, well, he's logical. She's normally logical except for in the love department, but it seems like this is different. You know, this is different. She's thinking of all the pros and the cons, and she's at a point in her life that, yeah, you know, it's time to maybe settle down with something that is good for me, you know, that I can work with, that's compatible with me. Compatibility is very important to her now. It looks like there was a little bit of a bump in the road where they had a very serious conversation, and they did start anew again, like talking about taking this, you know, to another level. He'd rather be happy than right, or something like that. Like, you know, it's kind of indicating, like, oh boy, I can't even believe I'm saying this, because I never saw this in my head or anything, but it's indicating that she, I don't want to say she put an ultimatum, but she kind of made it as though, I want to move to the next level, to know that you're sincere or whatever, like, to keep my interest, to show me that you're very serious about me. I gotta see something, you know? And I don't think he was ready to ask her to marry him, but I think something that she said made him come to that conclusion, and he doesn't want to lose her, so he gave in. And that made her very, very happy that, you know, he's showing her, you know, it's like the show me state. He's actually showing, you know, not just talking, but showing. And so far he hasn't made any real mistakes, which is, you know, wow to her, you know. So now she's a little scared now, as if, you know, is this too good to be true? You know, am I settling? You know, all these things that's going through her head. But she's a brave person, and she's going to move forward with this. So it looks to me that she is hook, line, and sinker. If you're in it to win it, I'm in it to win it too. So that's where they're at right now. Because I don't think he was going to be quick to ask her to marry him, but something made him think that I don't want to lose her either. So maybe I need to go ahead and do that, you know. Yeah, so he made the quick decision to go ahead and do that. To say, let's just get the party started, you know. Even though he's not quite there, but you know, he wants her to be happy. He wants her to know he's for real. So he's going to make arrangements and all that. a lot of changes coming. So there's something that's there. Okay, so there's something from his end that is that's cause there's some friction on his end, and I'm not sure yet what that's about, but I'll keep going. He's not good with manipulation. He's very good with hunches. You could even say that he brings luck to the people around him. And it causes jealousy and possessiveness. Okay, alright. This is from his past. People in his past have been possessive, jealous. He does sense that a little bit with Taylor, which is concerning to him. But I do feel that he is genuine about her. I feel he's sincere. I don't think he's a perfect person. I think he may have some addictions or something that she doesn't know about, but she will find out, and probably within, if there could be a potential hiccup in the next 3 months, and if that doesn't stop the engagement from moving forward, then I think they're going to go through with it, and take the chance. They're just at that place, and they're kind of like on the same page. They're there's a caring for, like, they care about each other a lot. You know, I'm feeling like potentially someone may be sick, and that's going to cause a lot of stress. So that's something that just to be aware of. They both want children. I feel like somebody's going to get sick. There could even be a death or something. I don't know. Something weird. I don't want to get too into it because I really don't. It's like, I don't know, just something to keep an eye on that can cause delays or just it can cause delays and friction within a relationship depending on how close this person is to either one of them. So, take time to clear your mind, take a breather, should that go down, during this engagement period. So, Taylor's gone through a lot in the relationships of the past. She's had to lick her wounds. And, this person has done a lot to lift her spirits up and trust again. He's actually a huge positive aspect in her life. He brings a lot of joy. He's very interesting. And most of all, she really respects him and the way he treats his family. She has a lot of respect for this person. And he has helped her heal. He is like a big kid. He's good with kids. And she loves that about him. He's a force of, he's very strong, and she finds that very appealing in a mate. He makes her feel like, oh my gosh, like that song from, I forgot her name, but anyway, that singer, where she says, "You make me feel like a woman," or whatever. He is just, so tall, masculine, he's charming, he's got pretty eyes. He is her type. Some people say she's not really his type from what he's dated in the past, and people will say that he's not really her type from what she's dated in the past. But if you look at his blue eyes, bright eyes, and you see her crush from either middle school or high school, they have that jock thing about them, or they did back in the day, and that was appealing to her. She writes songs about, like that popular guy, that the girl has a secret crush on, and this guy is just the essence of popular jock, life of the party, the guy that girls can't get but maybe want from high school. It's like the stereotypical, it's just they're not in high school, but there's this inferiority complex that she has where it's like, oh, I got the jock, the popular jock, or whatever, it's just a personal inferiority complex a little bit that she has. He has all the confidence in the world. He thinks he's great for her. He thinks that they'd make a great couple and all that. He's just doesn't. She has shown a little bit of that manipulation thing, which is a little bit of a red flag for him, but as you can see, he's still moving forward, so he still likes her a lot, to just brush that aside and say, okay, this is just who you are and I love who you are, so I'm going to take a chance and just kind of move forward because I really, I don't want to lose you, blah, blah, blah. I don't want someone else to take you. And with that, she's very satisfied that he's moved it along quicker than he would normally. And so now she's engaged, and he's shown that he's willing to move forward. Let me just see something real quick. He doesn't really feel he doesn't see any real issues or anything except for what I mentioned. Just doesn't want, he doesn't feel she needs to be just, I don't want to say play mind games, but just she doesn't have, there's nothing to worry about, with his feelings for her or whatever, or how he's going to treat her, or, is this too good to be true kind of thing. I've saw this before, but I'm just going to mention it. There could be somebody that is in his ear saying, you sure you really want to do this? She's not good for you or whatever. She's a pain. She's too much. She's, you're going to get divorced, or... But, the way he sees it is, I'm marrying her, not you. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm really digging this gal, and, want to marry her, end of story. So there may be delays in the wedding. There could be legal issues. There could be illness. And, all these things can complicate an engagement. And that's just something, to think about. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just showing that's potential. There's somebody around them that's not thrilled. Either her friends or his friends. That's kind of, I don't know, just saying some things that's kind of irritating to hear. But he's not going to be influenced by that, and she's concerned that he would be influenced by that, but he's not going to be. He's going to go through with it as long as she's going through with it. So far, I see them going through with the wedding. That's what I'm seeing. And, I mean, I definitely, I see a very, very strong potential for them to go through with the wedding. A couple little hiccups, bumps, but nothing, I don't know, nothing, that's going to prevent them from going through with this whole thing. So that's kind of the way I see it now. 3 months possible. Like I said, there could be somebody sick, a little bit of some legal stuff going on. Um, Somebody talking in somebody's ear. You sure you want to, be with this person? Blah blah blah. Friends, somebody's friend. Um, that's irritating. I think her more than he lets things brush off him. He doesn't. He's not worried about what people think. Her, it's a little more annoying. But yeah, I mean, I see. So far, I really do see that this is genuine. And I feel like he actually really does care about her. So let me just throw a couple cards out. There's joy and faith. So yeah, I think this has a really good shot of just going through and even if they did end up getting a divorce, I don't know that she would say, I totally regret this person, or him say, I regret her. I feel like that he'd be a good father. I feel like he hasn't really made any mistakes for her to be upset about. And if something just didn't work out, it just didn't work out. And she can't really blame him. And that's usually what she's used to doing is, I mean, this is kind of unusual, really, for her. It's a pattern of hers to write a song, a negative song about an ex or something. But it's one of those things that this may have just been in the cards for them. And they're so different than what they're used to dating. I mean, I'm not talking like, well, physically maybe for him, and with her, she has been attracted to his type. It seems like she likes the pretty boys too and all that, but he's, more masculine, more jockish, more, I don't know. But I think it makes her feel like a woman, and I think she likes that. So for now, it seems to be working. Now, he may have a little skeleton in the closet that may come up, and I wonder if it's not some sort of an addiction that shows up. So that's just something to think about. Like I said, not saying yes or no, but it's shown up a couple times here that there's some sort, maybe something that he hid from her until after they got married or something. So, but in reality, I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be like something he can't overcome. Look out, obviously for something. I do feel like a hiccup, though, that can delay the engagement or something. It could be anything. Somebody sick, somebody in an accident, somebody, something that causes a little conflict. But I do feel like this is going to go through. I mean, so far, there's just a lot of respect, a lot of joy, and a lot of love right now. So I'm going to leave you with that. And hopefully it works out for them, and that they have a happy ending with each other that lasts a lifetime. All right, I'm going to leave you with that, and thank you very much. And I will be doing another video shortly, so stay tuned for that. All right, you have a good evening.